Hey, Julia Barzyk here from Wise Investigator. So, if you're a university researcher looking to get your research funded, you may have heard the advice that it's important to build relationships with funders and others that you may be able to collaborate with. And this is great advice. You definitely do want to build relationships. But let's step back for a moment and think a little bit about what type of relationships, because there are aspects of relationships and networks in the funding process historically that haven't really been the best for the scientific community, and that have kept some people out of fully participating in the scientific community. So this is what we would refer to generally as something like an old boys club or an old boys network. And this refers to situations where there's a group of people, these boys, it often was men, that knew each other and really worked together and supported each other. And while maybe nothing illegal or unethical was going on, it was kind of a you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, if not a quid pro quo type of relationships. And so for people who weren't part of this old boys club or old boys network, they may not hear about certain opportunities. They maybe got the information that was sent out to the public, but didn't have access to information that was discussed maybe behind closed doors or in a meeting after the meeting, right? So when I talk about building relationships, these are not the types of relationships we want to build. We want to be building relationships that are based on the work that you want to do, the work that an organization wants to invest in. And the type of relationships we want to build are ones that could help you serve an organization better, if that's the type of funding relationship you may have, especially if you're thinking about doing some work in collaboration that would directly support work that another organization is doing. And now that the funding organizations are really a lot more dynamic in terms of the employees, the points of contact, the people who are coming in and out of these organizations from academia, from industry, and the fact that many of these people may serve for a shorter number of years than they would have in the past, where someone was in a role for 10 or 20 or even 30 years. Again, it's a much more dynamic environment, so I do think the risk of these old boys clubs developing is a lot less. So keep in mind that when you think about these relationships, you want to keep them really focused on the research of what you want to do, and again, what that organization needs to be done. And look at that as a positive. And building relationships is not something that's going to put someone in an unfair situation, because there are processes in place to objectively evaluate proposals and other materials when they come in. So don't shy away from relationships, and let me know what other questions, concerns about the research funding process you have. Send me a DM or put that in the comments. Thanks.